This is the East Ward Update. I'm Councilmember Derwin L. Montgomery. Leave your Facebook comments and questions below and we'll respond to them. Recreation and parks facilities improve our quality of life, and our funding choices have improved recreation this summer. William Royston, our Recreation and Parks Director, joins us to discuss a new facility. William, thank you for joining us. We've had so much happening across our community, particularly when it comes to parks and recreations and investments that are happening. Community members have been able to see ribbon cuttings and introduced to new parks, renovated parks. We have one more that we have, particularly in the East Ward, that's getting ready to get underway as well, particularly Happy Hill Park. What's happening? What's going on? What can the community expect?
I think the community is going to be very, very excited about what's the improvements that we're going to make at Happy Hill Park. The park is going to get an entire facelift. The pool and bathhouse is going to be removed. Almost everything that you see and recognize there on the opposite the recreation center is going to be new and updated. You're going to look at, as opposed to having a swimming pool, we're going to have a brand new, very large splash pad. There'll be a bathhouse. You're looking at a new playground, new ball fields, as well as a new picnic shelter, as well as expanded parking for that shelter for the residents of Happy Hill.
And so where are we in that process? What can people expect? Are they going to be able to use facilities this summer?
We will keep the park open right up until we begin construction. The estimated time for breaking ground is going to probably be mid-July. That's the current schedule, but definitely before the end of the summer, I would expect that we'll have some earth turning and improvements will begin there at Happy Hill.
So when we think about going from a swimming pool to the splash pads, these are some things that we've been doing in other parts of the community, and it'd be helpful for the community to understand what we see in the utilizations and the opportunities that you have in splash pads versus full pools.
Well, there are several there are several benefits, and one benefit is our pools open on a particular schedule. Splash pads will open when after we turn the water on for our park system throughout usually from the beginning of April, and that lasts until around the end of October. Depending on the weather and how temperate it is outside, people can use the splash pads will be open and ready for people to use them at that time. There's no standing water. You don't have to have on a bathing suit. If you just want to kind of run out there and cool off, you have that opportunity. It doesn't have to be staffed. It's just a really fun way, a new way that we found that residents here in the city of Winston-Salem have taken hold of and really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to opening this splash pad here at Happy Hill. It's going to be one of our premier splash pads in the city.
And so I think Happy Hill Park is one of the greatest locations in the community. If you're in the park itself, in terms of views you get to see throughout the community and the neighborhood itself, has such great history and heritage, and people are so drawn to the place itself. How do we come up with the ideas and the thoughts of what would happen here? I know there are master plans, there were community outreach. How do we come to this place?
Happy Hill, you're right, Councilmember. Happy Hill is very iconic. It has a lot of history. The Happy Hill Reunion is held there every year. When we began the master planning process, it was imperative for us to make sure that we gathered community input in terms of what they wanted to have developed in the park. So we held a series of public meetings where we gathered community input. We take their ideas and we illustrate them in terms of preliminary master plans and schematic master plans, present that information to the public, get additional feedback, and then come back and present a final master plan for the community to approve and adopt as the vision for moving forward with Happy Hill. Everything, a lot of times, everything that people see on the master plan can't be developed in one phase, but it gives us a vision to plan for the future, so that construction in any sort of development fits the overall scheme of the park.
And you hit it right where I was going in terms, so this is just phase one for the redevelopment and investment at Happy Hills Park. What's the dollar amount that we're looking at for investment?
The first phase is going to be, the budget is around $4 million. We think that we'll be able to develop enough in the park to make an impact that will hopefully drive future development. We need to there was a water feature there. It's imperative that we put that back, get something back. And what we found in a lot of our pool locations is that our splash pads stay packed. So people really enjoy them. This is going to be one of the premier splash pads in the city. It's going to be one of our largest ones that we have. Very nice amenities. it's going to have the kind of upgrades that the community deserves, and I feel that they will enjoy.
So when we think about Happy Hill Phase 1, $4 million investment into this park, transforming how people engage in recreation in this location, giving the community an upgrade to facilities, and then recreating how individuals begin to think about recreation in their neighborhood and their community. I'm excited about what's happening across our community, importantly in terms of what's happening in the East Ward, and even more importantly what's happening at Happy Hill Park itself. There's one other thing that's happening there that I think is going to be exciting to the community, and that is a space that's going to be set aside to preserve some additional history in the park, and that is there's some shotgun houses in the neighborhood, and so as a part of this process, there's some space designated to be able to allow for the structure to be recreated and set back as, again, being able to pay homage to the great history and heritage of this neighborhood.
You're exactly right. There's been a space that's been designated for these historical houses. There's a lot of history there, as you mentioned. In addition to those houses, there's also the Three Brothers Spring and some walking trails around there. But we are designating a space so that it's not only a place that people can come and recreate and enjoy, but it's also a place that people can come and learn about the history of Winston-Salem. And whenever we have opportunities to do that throughout our park system, we've been making great strides in trying to provide those opportunities as well.
Well, I've been a big champion of how we continue to move our parks and recreations into the 21st century, and I'm happy that the investments that we're making are continuing to push us in that direction. William, thank you so much for the hard work that you're doing, the hard work that the team in Parks and Recreations are doing each and every day to give our community places that we can recreate and that we can just have opportunity to relax. So again, appreciate you, appreciate your staff, and you all have some amazing projects coming forward and moving forward. So again, thank you.
No, thank you, Councilmember.
That's the East Ward Update. I'm the East Ward Council Member Derwin L. Montgomery. Remember to leave your comments or questions below and we'll respond.